The football world pays an emotional tribute to Diego Maradona. Singapore's Fandi Ahmad remembers him as an inspiration. A doctor is ordered to pay $5.6 million in damages to the family of a woman who died after undergoing liposuction. And Jalan-Jalan with Chingay. You can have your chance to be part of the virtual parade next year. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Chow Suen. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Singapore has snapped a 15-day streak of 0 new locally transmitted COVID-19 cases. 1 new infection in the community was confirmed today, and there were 4 imported cases. As experts have warned in recent days, even with 0 cases, there could still be a small number of asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic cases circulating in the community. One professor gave this advice. He said, "Don't get too excited about reaching 0 cases." Elsewhere in the region, there are new waves of COVID-19. South Korea reported 583 new infections today, the highest since March. Meanwhile, Hong Kong imposed tighter restrictions after the daily count hit 80 in recent days. Here's the view from our correspondents.
This is expected to be the worst and the toughest to curb because right now we're seeing many small clusters of infections all around, all throughout the country. So the authorities are finding it very difficult to contact trace right now. What was successful back then in the first 2 waves is somehow not working this time.
Hong Kong is one of the cities that has not yet undergone a lockdown, and that's unlike Singapore, of course. And if Chief Executive Carrie Lam's words are anything to go by, so she said yesterday that lockdown is not on the cards, but that's different from what the experts are now saying.
Diego Maradona will be remembered as a football genius. Born in the slums of Buenos Aires, he rose to become one of the world's greatest players, leading his country to World Cup glory in 1986. The Argentine legend died on Wednesday after suffering a heart attack. He was 60. Singapore footballer Fandi Ahmad, who once played against Maradona on the same pitch, shared his memories with STnewsnight.
Maradona, he's different level. I call him invincible because he's so fast, so quick. And why I say that? Because I've seen him firsthand, playing against him on the same pitch and watching him live, 1986 World Cup in Mexico. And I think he scored one of the best goals against England. For me, that was amazing. For me, he's invincible because all the English players couldn't actually smell him. Halfway on the line, he went through all the players' class and pushing just past the keeper. I want to remember him as an inspirational player during those days because I grew up watching him playing in the World Youth in Tokyo, and I wanted to be playing and the style of Argentinian player with the socks low down, and then they tie the boots cross against the ankle, and then we want to wear that time was Puma, and we want to be like Argentinian players, especially like Maradona, but we cannot dribble like him. We can dream only. So, but for me, he's the best player, ever in those generation and era.
For the first time in 5 years, wealth inequality in Singapore has fallen. According to the Ministry of Finance, in 2019, Singapore's Gini coefficient dipped below 0.4, which signals a narrowing income gap. In another positive indicator, Singapore took the top spot among the world's most competitive economies in 2 separate global reports in 2019 and 2020. And it's not just income gaps that are narrowing. Despite the pandemic forcing us to be physically apart, it has also brought the Singapore community closer than ever in spirit. The SPOR report showed that while the pandemic caused severe disruptions, it also fostered a strong spirit of care and active citizenry. Calls for volunteers and donations were met with overwhelming response. In all, more than 13,000 Singaporeans signed up as volunteers through the SG United portal. And despite the economic fallout, $90 million were donated to organizations, including the Community Chest, from January to May. Surgeon Edward Fu was today ordered by the High Court to pay $5.6 million in damages to the family of a patient who died following a botched liposuction procedure. He was sued by the family of Madam Mandy Yong Sok Man, who died in 2013. Justice Chu Han Teck said Dr. Fu, who may well be a competent general surgeon, was not adequately trained to perform the liposuction and fat transfer procedures. The court also found that Dr. Fu's delay in sending for an ambulance after Madam Yong collapsed at his clinic was an act of negligence. New masks for all. Singapore residents will each get one free mask kit each, containing 2 black masks and 3 filters, this time with a size guide. The masks can be collected from Monday at 10 a.m. at vending machines around the island, at locations including bus interchanges, community centres and resident committee centres. You'll have your choice of 4 sizes: small, medium, large and extra large. And yet another beloved festival moves online. The annual Chingay Parade will be back next year, but with a twist. The colourful parade will go fully digital for the first time. The parade, themed Light of Hope, will take place on February 20th and will air on television, online and social media channels from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Singapore residents will get a chance to be a part of the parade through a community engagement campaign called Jalan Jalan with Chingay, where people can send in submissions to be included in the parade. Seems like Korean boy band BTS is truly unstoppable. American singer-songwriter Alicia Keys took to Twitter with a clip of herself playing the piano and singing BTS's new title track, Life Goes On, thrilling fans of both Keys and BTS alike.
Like an echo in the forest, the day will come back around as if nothing ever happened.
This comes in the wake of the South Korean megastars becoming the first K-pop act to receive a Grammy nomination. The 7-member boy band's latest hit single, Dynamite, will compete with releases by Justin Bieber and 3 other nominees in the Best Pop Duo/Group Performance category. All the best, BTS! And a major step towards equality for the sexes. Scotland has become the first country in the world to provide free and universal access to period products.
Period products are as essential as soap and toilet roll. So they started campaigning and you know what? It worked. Clubs all over Scotland joined up. And they're not the only ones. There are many initiatives all around Scotland standing up for periods. Standing up for anyone who's been too afraid to stand up. Cases leaked in their chair. Because in Scotland, we believe that it's fundamental to dignity, equality and human rights.
After a 4-year campaign, lawmakers in Scotland voted in favour of making period products available for all those who need them. In fact, the scheme, which is estimated to cost about £8.7 million a year, will not be means-tested. The legislation will also enshrine in law the requirement for schools, colleges and universities to provide the products for free. Looking for something unique to do over the weekend? Like a group of 4 friends who rented out a cinema hall for 4 hours on November 21st to play their games on their Xbox One, you too can now rent a hall at Golden Village Funan Cinema for a cool private gaming experience. GV said that its Funan cinema halls have a dedicated line port that allows for easy internet connectivity for online games. Those interested can reach out. And taking video games into the real world. Channel your Mario Kart skills in person at Changi Airport's Go-Kart experience. At dusk, you can get your blood pumping with the new night karting experiences, where racers can zoom past psychedelic neon blinking lights and even speed through a lighted tunnel. As part of its Changi Festive Village, the airport has now added the Dino Kart and Dino Bounce, a 30-meter-long bouncy castle, to its slate of festive fun. And that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. And to all those of you celebrating it, happy Thanksgiving. Have a great evening and we'll see you tomorrow.